What's up, board game people? I'm back. Again? Yeah, again. Let's do this. So much has gone on, and I want to get all of you caught up so that we can get to even more exciting content that I have coming. Major shakeups, pledge managers launching, and a few projects hitting doors very soon. Let's talk about it all. Before we get started, I want to say a huge thank you to my Patreon members. You all are absolutely the best. You keep me moving and inspired, and I appreciate all the support. So live on crowdfunding now, we have so many great projects and more on the way. First on Kickstarter, we have Dungeons of Enveron, which is personally my pick of the month. They're absolutely smashing it, and they're sitting just over $500,000 in funding, and adding so much greatness to the project every day. They added a new expansion, the Oblivion's Mall, a new terrain add-on, the Great Hall of Karstad, a minis add-on, adventure dashboards, the Vaults of Enveron add-on terrain to make the dungeons even bigger. There's so much to love here, and it's all coming at a steep discount during the campaign. Check the game out, you won't be disappointed. Also on Kickstarter, we have Townfolk Tussle, reprint and expansions campaign. This project is offering the Foul Neighbors and Odd Jobs expansions as their centerpiece. The Foul Neighbors adds 8 new ruffians and 2 new townsfolk to the mix, and the Odd Jobs expansion offers a totally new way to play the game by helping the peddler to restock their cart in exchange for some wonderful goodies. This expansion also adds in roles that each player can take on, allowing them to further customize and upgrade their townsfolk. Also of note on Kickstarter are Battletech Mercenaries. Over on GameFound, we have the end of the Street Fighter V project, and there's still time to hop in on that one. And one that's really caught my attention and piqued my curiosity, Hexplore Fall of the Ancients. This is an expansion and a new way to play through their second campaign written for the Hexplore system. I'm still wrapping my head around the project myself, but I've heard good things about Hexplore games, and the giant expensive package of everything is calling to my inner all-in idiot. This is one I'll be taking a closer look at for sure. Finally, on BackerKit, Sentinels of the Multiverse is tearing it up. If that's your cup of tea, it's definitely worth the look. Coming soon to crowdfunding, there are a few projects on my radar. First is a huge one, The Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era by Chip Theory Games on GameFound. This will be launching this week. The Thinning Veil will be back on Kickstarter this week with their relaunch. And finally, DEI from Ludus Magnus Studios will return for an expansion and reprint on GameFound. So with that, let's get to the news. First in the news, let's talk a big one that's setting sail. The Witcher Old World English copies are being loaded onto ships and will set sail by the end of the month for destinations in Europe and the US. Polish copies have already hit the seas. They're experiencing issues getting containers available for Canada, Asia, and Australia. They're in talks and hope to have these secured and freight arranged shortly. The games are made, assembled, and just waiting for the shipping partners. The second batch of games has had their ship date moved back to June due to production delays. The good news is that the Korean version of the game got their language packs in so fast they were able to produce it with the English and Polish versions. This version has already hit the Korean market. Other languages will be following though. The issues with the big box trays not holding sleeved cards properly has been resolved, and all packers will get trays able to hold 100 micron sleeved cards. There was one mistake that sadly could not be corrected. In the final versions of the basic Witcher miniatures tray, they're stamped in reverse for the bear skull and the griffin figure. We'll receive more tracking numbers for the ships soon. Principal development for Merchant's Cove Mastercraft is complete. They're now in the process of preparing files for the factory and performing quality assurance tasks to make sure the best version of the game is what we get. They're using their experience from the original project for the game to ensure that things go smoothly and quicker. This month, they also have another digital scenario ready for everyone to enjoy. Dungeons of Doria appeared at CaveCon this month, where Victor ran a marathon demo session for 3 lucky players. The session ran smoothly, and the event deck and boss monster decks were hits. Add in the new traps and events to the loot deck, and everyone had a great time with more dynamic play. The boss monster deck is still a work in progress, but shaping up nicely and due to be completed by the end of the month. The manufacturing timeline is on schedule for April. The remaining pieces needing closer looks are the tray and the box size. If everything goes according to plan, the pledge manager will stay open until the end of April, and August is still the target for shipping to begin. Oh, and there's likely to be an increase in the shipping that they've already stated will be absorbed by the project. Wow, huge companies can't manage that, but Dungeons of Doria can? That's something to think about. Pledge where it counts. Pledge for the dreams. Those are the creators that need and deserve your support. Dungeon Universalis published a new update going over some of their recent progress and the results of their player survey. They're finished writing the 3 new campaigns, and those and the bulk of the independent quests are now in testing. This update, they're showing off the map and announcing that most of the quests and one of the campaigns for the new campaign book will take place on Argon Island, one of the northern islands belonging to the Kingdom of Tracia. We also got a quick look at the Cleric, one of the new classes in the new Challenges box. The survey results were quite impressive and fruitful, confirming that the work they've been doing on new game types is already well focused. I'd encourage you to take a look for yourself. It's interesting to see the variance between the English and Spanish audiences. A non-update on Hell, The Last Saga, was posted by Mythic lately. They correlated what they deem relevant questions into a 30-minute video, in French but subtitled in English should you so choose, and they allowed their independent testers to take a swing at answering them. Honestly, people were asking these questions with hope that Mythic would present solid answers to them. It was kind of the testers to answer fan and critic questions, but I feel like it again illustrates how disconnected from their audience Mythic has become. And while we're busy with a favorite whipping boy, their 6 Siege update holds some more unfortunate news. Let's start with the good though. The molds and testing are complete for the miniatures. There are 115 minis and terrain pieces shipping with the project, and having those complete is a big step forward. The print files for the project are also complete and ready for production. All translations except Chinese and Portuguese are also complete. Then comes the sob story about how horrible the world of shipping is and how costs have risen and they could have never known that. We've all heard this story before, and I bet you can guess what comes next. They aren't ready to make their demands yet, but they will be asking for a ransom on your game in the form of another contribution. But at least they're offering something for your ransom this time in the form of 2 new maps. I don't know about you all, but back in my day, add-ons were optional. There are also added an additional STL file and art pack to the larger all-in pledges, as some of those folks will really be taking it up the rear on this shipping increase. They'll be in contact soon to let you know how and how much to pay for your ransom. Fantasy Flight has officially given us our first look at Descent Legends of the Dark Act 2, The Betrayer's War. This new expansion will see the various armies of darkness spreading across Terranoth and our heroes trying to stop the war from destroying their homelands. While there are no new heroes for the second act, each of our 6 heroes will have benefited from the hard-fought lessons in Act 1 and they're receiving massive upgrades for Act 2. With Wykar's armies battling forces of the Dragon Lord Leverthrax and hordes of Athuk continuing to spread across the land, things are already bad enough. Add in the fact that the remaining baronies are at each other's throats and Terranoth is teetering on a razor's edge. The heroes, it seems, have their work cut out for them. The final version of the rulebook for Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is available for your viewing pleasure. They gave a little explainer on the solo campaigns, stating that each town will have its own campaign consisting of 3 interconnected narrative-driven missions. These missions are expected to take around 45 minutes each, and the missions change based off your decisions, making these highly replayable, especially when you factor in the different difficulty levels. Finally, international testing has begun, and if you happen to be near a shop running testing sessions, you should definitely check it out. Ivion has broken their long silence to present us with 3 pre-production copies that have come in. They've been working hard since their last update, checking and double-checking files to ensure everything is perfect, and with some work on the future of Ivion. They give us an excellent look at the large anthology box, which looks to perfectly hold all of Season 1 and 2 content in a series of removable trays. The box itself is a beautiful golden monstrosity. The trays are well organized and look like they'll keep everything nice and secure when moving the box around. Finally, we get a good look at some of the Season 2 content, including the acrylic tokens that look fantastic. Mass production has just begun, and the pledge manager and pre-orders should remain open until late May or early June. Once assembly starts, these will close. The latest shipment update from Tanares Adventures is looking pretty solid. In the US, Arydia has sent out 60% of orders, and the ship containing the missing items should be docking in port any day now. Fulfillment in Canada is complete, minus the language packs which were missing and on the US ship. In the EU, they're almost completely done shipping. The most complex orders will be shipping soon there. For the UK, Spiral Galaxy is starting to send out orders now. Australia's shipment is underway. In Asia, there's no new updates from VFI and they'll alert you when they start shipping. Mexico should start to receive packages very soon, and in Brazil, they're estimating VFI will start shipping in April. The update concludes by breaking down the various books included with the game and their uses. For the Tanares RPG, I'm far behind on updates, but there is some good news. Work on the RPG book is complete, and beta testing is underway via their Discord server. If you'd like to join in, hop over there and let them know. In Skyrise news, they're comparing a second option for the foil finished used. Once that's complete, all components will be ready for print. All 3D building models are approved. They're still working on the finalization of the 3D island boards, and they hope to have that completed soon. Finally, they've almost nailed down the wash effect that they're looking for, and as soon as they get the latest samples, they'll be ready to share them. Squirrel Girl and Gwenpool are among the latest heroes bound for Marvel Crisis Protocol. These miniatures are both fantastically wacky, and should add some much-needed comic relief to any battle. Galactus the Devourer, both the living and zombie versions are headed to backers earlier than anticipated. This behemoth is a box unto itself, and there's no reason to store it and wait for Wave 2 shipping, so they're starting to ship them now. They should be loaded on ships and headed to destinations around the world. Australia and Canada should be fully shipping them out by the end of this month. Europe should ship in early April, and the US shipping will start in April and end in June. I was at a friend's house this week and I saw an Aeons End box, and it reminded me, where the heck is my copy? They were supposed to be shipping out from my home city. Turns out, these packages have been sitting in a warehouse awaiting their turn in the shipment queue. In the US, they should arrive by late March. In Europe, they've already been shipping, and they're waiting on a final delayed pallet so they can finish up the shipments. In Canada, packages are on the way to the Canadian Post. For all other regions, packing is complete and shipping to regional hubs is underway. There's a quick reminder from the Forsaken project that they're currently running a closed beta test for the game, and if you'd like to participate, fill out the form in the update linked in the video description. The Funnigan fiasco has caused havoc for Solar 175 shipping, but they've announced that they're partnering with Bridge for fulfillment in the US. Bridge has been quite busy sweeping up most of the Funnigan clients and is aiming for a May or June delivery of the game in the US, Canada, and the rest of the world. In East Asia, Surfing Meeple will have the games picked up from the factory and begin fulfillment in April. In the UK, Zatu will be handling shipment, and the containers should arrive in port by the end of the month. For Australia and New Zealand, they hope to have everything delivered by the end of April. Europe is currently experiencing the most trouble. Due to VAT regulations and the Funnigan fiasco, they're looking for a new shipping partner in the region to handle it. Right now, the timelines look similar to the US, with packages arriving in May and June. They end with a little tease of their still unannounced Solar 175 universe game. The Pledge Manager for Euthia Resurrected campaign has officially closed. All eyes now turn to production and fulfillment. For many fans, hopefully the long wait will be over soon. The latest from Arydia gives an updated timeline with a slight delay, and again confirms August 1st as the close date for the Pledge Manager. Completed files are due at the manufacturer by the end of April, so the end of development for the project is in sight. Panda will be handling the production and assembly of games. Some good news, though, is the project has done exceptionally well in the Pledge Manager and crossed the $2 million mark. As such, they've unlocked a final secret stretch goal, creating a 5K metal coin. There will be 10 of these coins included in the game. Still hard at work, Alex and Luke are testing and retesting balance of all player counts to ensure combat remains fun and challenging. While Alex naps, Cody is working through the final locations for World Map 3, NPC dialogue trees, points of interest, and quest lines. And finally, a quick deal alert. Posted by Spiky Bits, Twilight Imperium, Catan 3D, and Hero Quest are available at deep discounts on Amazon right now. These are 3 classics, and I'll personally vouch for Twilight Imperium as a solid experience with anyone with the time and patience to play 4X board games. So yet again, I'm back and blurting out the news from the hilltops. I apologize for my absence, and I'll be discussing a little bit of what's gone on in my upcoming month in review video. I'm back and more excited than ever to be making videos, and there's some awesome new content on the way. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Thanks again to my amazing Patreon members and to everyone watching and commenting. Your comments, critiques, and insight are always welcome and appreciated. Have a great week and play something epic tonight.